Good morning, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for joining us. Leslie and I would like to wish you happy holidays coming up. Hope you enjoy your time with your family, and we'll see you all next year. So today we're doing a project I've been putting off for a couple of years. Something I've been wanting to do for a long time. So what we have here is a Coleman road trip grill. This is my go-to grill. I love this thing. It goes everywhere the camper goes. So on the back side of the camper, we have a quick connect for the propane, which is factory installed. What I want to do is eliminate the 20-pounder that this thing takes, just so I don't have to carry that with me. It's kind of a pain in the neck. And of course, we don't want to use these things. These are expensive. You can't recycle them because nobody will take them. You can't refill them, so it's kind of a waste of money. Plus, they're very expensive. So these things connect to the regulator, which is underneath here. It's right about there. So you can use one of these, or the grill comes with the hose. You just connect it to the regulator and it goes to the 20-pound tank, and there you go, that's your fuel. So we're going to bypass this regulator. I'm going to show you how to do that. So we can do a quick connect directly to the camper. We can eliminate this. We can eliminate the 20-pounder. And of course, we can eliminate these things. Now, we're just going to bypass this regulator. We're not going to remove it. So if you want to go back to the 20-pounder with the hose, not an issue. First thing you need to know is you're messing with gas, propane. So you got to be careful. Everything has to be sealed 100% so you don't have any leaks, and we'll show you how to do a leak test before you actually light this thing. So let's get this thing taken apart. I'll give you a list of parts that we have, and let's make it work. So the first thing we got to do, obviously, is get all this stuff out of here. Get these grills out. Take this inner liner out. All right, so what we want to do next is we want to take this control box off. It's got the knobs and the starter. All that has to come off. And there's two Phillips head screws on the back side of this thing. So I'll just take these off. It's pretty simple. I usually just carry a little bucket, just throw the parts in there just so they don't get lost. Definitely don't want to lose those things. Alright. I got two on the bottom. So there's 4 screws total for this. And we just slide this whole thing off. So what we're going to have is a wire for your starter. So we're just going to ever so gently pull that off. Just like that. So once you remove these screws, pull this whole thing off, you have a couple of screws in the back. There's 3, which takes this heat shield off. Definitely want to get rid of that because it's in the way. So this is your manifold. It's your regulator. So we're just going to bypass this. We're not going to take it off. At the end of this run, there's a cap. These are on pretty tight, so you might need a little bit of MAP gas because they're glued on. Just give a little... hit that a little bit, loosen up that glue that's on there. I already loosened this up, and you pull this cap off, just like that. Now this is the hard part to find. These things are ridiculous in price. So it's a male, female, This thing's pretty expensive. It's called an M8 0.075 to an 1/8 inch NPT, which is National Pipe Thread. So this end, the female end, is metric, and the male end is imperial. So this thing is going to go right into here like that. So what you want to do is take your tape and seal that first. So we have two different types of tape. You have the yellow, which is meant for propane and natural gas, and you have the white, which is for regular plumbing. Don't use the white. The white will break down. Use the yellow. Or you can get this paste. This one's not open, which is made for natural gas and or propane. You can do either one. I prefer the tape just because it's a little less, it's a lot cleaner. It's not messy, and I just think it looks better. So we will take that tape, wrap it onto this end of the manifold right here, and put this piece on, tighten it up. I'll put a list of all the parts I used to do this project. Most of them, pretty much all of them, you can get on Amazon, except this one metric piece. Had a special order of that. I'll give you a address and or a phone number for the company I got this from. These were expensive. This part was like 28 bucks. It's crazy, but you got to have it. So I'll just take a little bit of tape. And we'll just wrap it right around this thread like this. You don't need a whole lot, but you want a decent amount to cover so I can get a good seal. Just put it on there like that. Give it a little bit of a tug so it's on fairly tight. Just like that. I'll take our little fitting. Put it right on there like that. I'll take a little adjustable wrench. There it is. Just give it a snug it. You don't want to strip it. All right. So that is in. So now, remember when this goes back on, it's going to go in this way. So we got to put a 90 on here, which will be 1/8 by 1/8. So it'll go in like that. So here's where we run into a little bit of an issue. So once you put the tape on there, I'll just put this on here real quick to demonstrate. And go like that. So now what you can see is we have to mark this wall right here. We have to use a Dremel tool. We're going to have to cut a hole in there, because the next piece that goes on will be this 1/8. Is it 1/8? Yeah, it's a 1/8 copper tube, 4 inches long, so it's going to stick out like this. So I would recommend a 2-inch, because the 4 is probably going to stick out too far. But we'll use the 4-inch for now, and then we'll change it to a 2-inch later on. So what we need is a permanent marker, and right about there, so we can tighten it up a little bit. Alright, so just about like that. I'm going to make a mark. And that's about where we're going to cut. You can't see that in the camera. We want to cut a hole big enough for this tube to go through like that and connect to that 90. So it'll look something like that. So what we'll do is we'll get a Dremel, like I said. My hole's going to go right about like that. That's it. We'll cut the hole. Alright, so I marked where the hole's going to go on the outside of this manifold. I'm going to drill a small hole first. And we'll start with that. Alright. So let's see what we got. Alright. So now we'll go up to a bigger size drill. Do a 3/8. Try not to stab yourself with this thing on the back side. Alright. Alright, so 3/8 drill bit is the largest I have. So we're going to put a cutting tool, a cutting tip, on a Dremel. And we're going to open up this hole. So this pipe, this it's an 1/8 inch, 4 inch long, which before I told you it's going to be probably going to have to get a 2 inch, but we'll go with that for now. So let's open up this hole. Alright, so now we're going to take our tape and we're going to wrap this fitting and put in our 90. Just like that. Just kind of wrap it around. This is kind of an 1/8 inch 90. And we'll see if we got the hole lined up right. Put the 1/8 inch 90 on there, like that. Looks like our hole is off just a little bit. Alright, so our hole is off a little bit here. So we just take a Dremel tool and make it a little bit wider. So let's turn this out of the way so we don't fill it with chips. Alright, a little bit of Dremel. Just line it up a little bit. Alright, there it is. Alright, lesson learned. Pay attention before you drill these holes. I drilled the hole on the front side, which I shouldn't have done. Goes on the back side, where the regulator is. So, yeah, it kind of worked out in my favor because I can put the sniffer in here, this thing right here. So put that right in the hole, and I can check for leaks before we light the fire. So drill a hole in the backside when you put your threaded pipe in there. So it looks like that. Yeah, don't do what I did. So this is all tightened up. This is ready for the next piece, which will be a 1/4 inch female 90. So it'll go on like that. So I'll put some tape on that, like so. Get that wrapped down there pretty good. You don't need a ton of it, but enough. That's on there, and we'll put our 1/4 inch 90. So you want this 90 to face the regulator. So when it goes on like this, let's see, goes on like that on the stoves, and 90 is facing that way. Now what we have is this quick connect valve. Let's take this piece off here. So the gas is on when this lever here is in line with this device. So we pop that open like that. Put your hose in, which would be this. So it'll go in like this. And we turn the gas on like that. And then this end, we'll show you that after. So we want to wrap this piece here, this valve, and install that in here. We'll get some more tape. That's going to go on that way. It's perfect. So when this is mounted on the stove, shut the valve off, put your quick connect in, turn your valve on, you're good to go. Alright, the other end of this hose, which will go to the camper, we're going to have this other flared quick connect, which will go on like that. So we'll put some tape on this end. Just wrap that nice and tight. This is a flared end. That will go on the hose, like so. A couple adjustable wrenches. Tighten that up real nice. That's it. This thing goes to the camper. This thing goes to the valve on the manifold. You're good to go. That's all it takes. And that's what it looks like. Just remember, when you drill the hole, put it on the back side, not the front side where the knobs are. And that's it. So normally when you test these things for leaks, you're going to just use a spray bottle with some soapy water. You spray it on your joints when your gas is turned on, and if there's any leaks, you'll see it bubble. But when this thing is all assembled, you can't get to any of this stuff. At least this in here, you can't get to it. It is what it is. So what I have is this device. This is a sniffer. It's made specifically for propane and or natural gas. You just turn this on, and you can run it all over your joints. And if there's a leak, this thing will tell you there's a leak. We'll show you how to do that when we get outside. So let's reassemble this thing, and we'll drag it outside and check it out. All right, let's put this thing back together. First thing we have is the heat shield. And we have this wire for the starter. So what we're going to do is figure out which way this heat shield goes on. So it's going to go this way. There's 3 screws that hold that in place. Go something like that. So what we'll do is we'll take the wire, slide it through this hole first, and we'll plug it into the starter. It's just a lot easier to do that. Alright, now we'll put this heat shield in place. Just like that. And there's 3 screws that hold that in place. Alright, so let's get my bucket with my screws. Looks Looks like these are all the same size. So we'll get that started. The heat shield. Now we'll put this assembly back. Just like that. There we go. Alright, so now what we have is our valve. Remember, that's off, that's on. So we just take our braided line, throw it in this quick connect, like that. Turn the gas on this end here, goes to the camper, and that's it. That's all it takes. Alright, so we hooked up the 20-pounder in the garage just to try this thing out. And I'll show you how this sniffer works. It's a pretty neat little tool. Just got a wand on it, little LED screen. Just hold it on. It's going to say wait. I don't know if you can see that or not. Just have to wait till it does this little self-check. Alright, so we got a clear screen. So we're going to move this thing around in here. Gas is already turned on. It's just going to do the joints. There's really nothing going on here. I'm going to go up underneath where the rest of the connection is. That little hole that I didn't want to make. This happens to be a joint right there. There's nothing happening. So just to make sure this works, what we'll do is we'll turn the gas on here, just the gas. You see it's reading. So we'll shut this gas off. Let this thing clear out a little bit. We shouldn't get anything. It might be a little residual, but yeah. Still a little bit in there. There's no leaks. No leaks. Go back over to our connections here. Got no leaks. Nothing in here. So normally, like I said before, you can take your spray bottle with your soapy water and just hit these and you see it bubble. But you can't get inside here where the rest of the connection is. That's why we have this sniffer. So just to double check this, we'll put this on here. Now the gas is on. It should come out this end. Should come out over in here. There it is. So we'll shut that off. Now we'll see if there's anything here. There's a little bit, so there's still some gas in the line. Alright, so if we shut this off, that's off. Might be a little residual in here. Yeah, there it is. So it's gone. Alright, so there's no leaks. So now we'll go outside, plug this thing into the camper, and we'll try it out. Alright, we have our gas turned on the camper. We'll go hook this thing up in the quick connect. Tight fit. All right, the final test. We got our braided hose connected to our camper. Gas is on. We are connected to the stove. Gas is on. You won't be able to see the flame, But what we'll do is we'll turn on the gas on the stove. We'll do the sniffer. You can hear that the gas is on. Alright, we'll put that away. I'll start this thing up. Actually, we'll turn the gas on. We can do some sniffing around here. There's nothing. No leaks. Let's fire this thing up. There it is. You probably can't see the flame. Maybe a little bit in the middle. Yeah, it's working. No leaks. Well, that's another project complete. The only reason why I did that was to get rid of the 20-pound tank. I didn't want to carry the extra weight. I didn't want it to take up the space. So it was just really convenient just to plug it into the side of the camper. And of course, the weight savings gives me an opportunity to carry a couple extra tools. You never know when you need tools on the road. So the sniffer, it's kind of a neat little item. It's made by Toptis. Its part number is PT520A. You can get all this stuff on Amazon. It's cheap money, and it's nice to have, especially if you think you have a propane leak in the camper. You got that sniffer right there. The thing works great. I'll put a list of all the parts I got, all the fittings. They all came from Amazon, with the exception of that metric piece. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it helped out. It's at your own risk because you're messing with propane. So just be careful. Make sure everything is sealed 100% before you light that fire. And thanks again for joining us. We appreciate you guys and hope you all have a happy holiday. And we'll see you on the road next year. Thanks for joining us.